Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart in a little different way. Basically, I have it overlaid over uh, the Bitcoin US dollar chart on Bitstamp. In addition to going like in the video, I'll flip it to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. The goal of this video, and if just as a reminder, if you do like the video, if you like the content, hit the like button down below. Really helps me out, as well as consider subscribing. Essentially, the goal of this video is to kind of visualize, having the two charts together, so it's a little easier to compare, and to show how the dominance chart reacts when Bitcoin has real volatility to the upside as well as to the downside. So let's go ahead and jump in. So when we see, we've been monitoring the dominance chart for quite some time. Ever since I started this channel, which wasn't too long ago, we were monitoring this dominance chart and this trending downwards line of resistance that's been happening since September of 2019. And you can see like what Bitcoin was doing essentially around that time as well. Something that's interesting, if you see Bitcoin, really have a lot of volatility to the upside, like what we saw here, like in this area, you could see that Bitcoin really leaves altcoins in the dust. Altcoins have no time to catch up. They get left in the dust. They get outpaced by Bitcoin. You can see it as well here. However, when Bitcoin is slowly trending down, okay, slowly trending down, we see like what we saw here, to some degree here, but this was more sideways action. We see the dominance trend downwards, and ultimately in the macro scale, this has been a trend downwards, despite all the major moves that Bitcoin has had in the last year, or a little over a year. We're still in a trending downwards phase with dominance, meaning that over time, altcoins are outpacing Bitcoin, which is inherent for a bull market. Something to also note: when we do see Bitcoin correct, like dramatically, we like say for the Black Swan event here, during the liquidity crisis, if you want to call it, Bitcoin did gain against altcoins, but not to the same extent as when it's rallying really hard. Meaning, altcoins fare a little better, in terms of catching up or keeping up with Bitcoin when Bitcoin is crashing compared to when Bitcoin's really rallying. At least in when we look at since 2019, when we see moves like this, altcoins really get left in the dust. You could see it here as well, that dominance really shoots up. However, when Bitcoin's macro trend down, we can see that altcoins have a chance to breathe, catch up, and even almost outpace Bitcoin. Now you must be asking, well, how are we supposed to get this? Well, that move there, everyone, is something that we're all looking for, but will probably not come until Bitcoin reaches its prior all-time high. Let's look at what I mean. So, when did that dip really start? Well, that dip really started at February 2017. Having the overlay makes it really easy to figure out when that occurred. So when we line it up, we're around this time, Bitcoin was above the 20-week moving average. I can even flip that here. It was above the 20-week moving average, as well as it just passed its prior all-time high, right? And when it came back down, altcoins gained more dominance. It was still bullish, and then we're off to the races, and that's when you see a capitulation. So that won't happen until Bitcoin reaches its all-time high. And like it's unfortunate that we don't get to see like what happened in the last cycle here because Bitcoin dominance doesn't go that far. But you can get you get the idea that that's probably what we have to do to wait. So in conclusion, if when so Bitcoin's down 8-9% for the week right now from the from week open. Um, despite that, dominance is trending downwards. Yes, altcoins have been trending downwards, but let's not forget, uh, Ethereum was at against Bitcoin at like 2 weeks, like a week and a half ago at 0.026. It's currently right now at 0.03, so it's still above. Same with Cardano, it's still above. Celsius is being the black sheep. It's not following anybody. But again, like as bad as this is, as bad as altcoins are bleeding, we're still above what we were like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, despite the recent move down. And having looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart is a good way to see what the positions are with altcoins in general on a market scale. So when you're talking about the entire asset class, uh, we could see that when Bitcoin really rallies hard, that's when the dominance really starts moving to the upside. When Bitcoin crashes down, it can move up, but not as significantly as what we've seen in the past. 2019, just these past 8 weeks will show you that. I mean, we can even look at the last altcoin run. Bitcoin was on a macro down, but dominance was as volatile as this looked, it's still from peak to peak on local peak to dominance, it was lower. It was from 67, 66 to about 59, with lows down to the 30s. And even when Bitcoin capitulated down to $3,000, dominance kind of like stayed flat. So that's when you're looking at it in relation to Bitcoin. Let's look at it against Ethereum. Now, yes, Ethereum's down for the week, but it's still up from its relative lows. Let's really keep that in mind. And you can really see the divergence here. Okay, you can see since I'll draw this line again. Since the first like touch of this supposed resistance, ever since then, Ethereum has been macro up. It's been trending upwards. And then you see with Bitcoin dominance has been trending down. We see that when Ethereum really moves to the upside, that's when we really see the dominance kick in. That's when we really see it move. The first few ones, as of recent, I would say is due to Ethereum moving. Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency. It's going to have the most impact on dominance, without a doubt, more so than mid-cap coins like DeFi or Celsius, in that sense. So when we look at here, know that yes, Bitcoin is crashing, not crashing, but it's down. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's bad for altcoins. It really doesn't. As we saw when we compared to the Bitcoin dominance to the dollar against Bitcoin, as well as when we look at Ethereum against the Bitcoin dominance chart, we see this macro divergence. Okay, macro divergence, and you can really see. I think it's very helpful to visualize when you have the two charts together in front of you to see to see these movements rather than flipping back and forth. I think is very helpful. Uh, and this is something that you guys can do. You just go to compare or add symbol, type in Ethereum or whatever kind of chart, and then you can line the two up. So with that said, I'm still confident that this move here that we've seen is much like what we saw here, here, and here, without a doubt. And with that dominance move to the downside, we could very well see Bitcoin trend down at least a little bit, and we could see Bitcoin trend down, kind of move back up, come back down, all in the midst of a 20 weekly moving average touch. Like Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin will trend as low as it can until it hits the 20-week moving average. That's what I think. Um, at this point, in order for the bull market to continue, in my opinion, it has to be above the 20-week moving average, or all of this is for naught. But that doesn't mean that altcoins can't rally in the meantime. As we can see here, altcoins rallied. In this period, altcoins rallied. In this period, altcoins rallied. And this is kind of like what I'm talking about here. Bitcoin was trending down, but we saw dominance move down as well, meaning that altcoins were trending up. And when we look at that period, we can look at like what Ethereum was doing, for example, and we see Ethereum move up. We see that it went like this compared to Bitcoin dominance moving down like that and dipping. Chainlink is another you can do this too. And you can see the same thing around that same time. Chainlink moved up, dominance moved down, and that is when Bitcoin was also moving down. And so that's what I want to get in your guys' head. Yes, Bitcoin moving down sharply isn't a good thing, because we see something like this happening in between February and March. We can see dominance go up. But if it's a slow trend down, if it's a slow trend down and we're above the weekly moving average, I have every confidence that altcoins can catch up. And that movement downwards could be from everyone moving their profits from Bitcoin into altcoins, because that's very possible too. And that does affect the dominance chart as well. Anyway, that's one way to look at the dominance chart. Use the dominance chart, flip it to any kind of altcoin. I would only really want to add this to like top 20 coins. This might not make much sense. Comparing like a top one, like an 80 rank 80 coin. Because it might not just it might just not work out, because like even with Cardano, I'm trying to get this here. Oh, and mind you, these are on you can flip it to logarithmic if you want, but that doesn't really make a difference, because you're comparing percentages to to sat to numbers or dollars. So you can set it to regular, but it's also very helpful if you're using this dominance chart with or any chart, if you're using if you want to bring out, like, say, Cardano and Cardano against BTC and Ethereum against BTC. I mean, you can use the Cardano Ethereum chart, but you can do that as well. You can flip it both to logarithmic to then see the massive position shifts, macro shifts, a little easier than without it. But you can kind of see with Cardano, it's not necessarily the same. I think when looking at Bitcoin dominance, it's kind of like a general indicator. It's not an end all be all for every single altcoin. It's more relevant to altcoins that have a very like a bigger market cap. Not to say Cardano doesn't have a big market cap, but it doesn't have the market cap of Ethereum, doesn't have a market cap of Chainlink, for example. And I think having these two charts together, Ethereum against BTC and Bitcoin dominance, is a very good indicator, very good chart comparison. But yeah, later on, by the end of the week, around maybe Sunday, I'll bring out another video for Bitcoin dominance. Just Bitcoin dominance, because we are nearing the end of the week, and it's always important to see weekly closes on the Bitcoin dominance chart. And we could just look at it briefly, but there is a lot of days ahead. Like there's plenty of the week ahead, but we are still down. We are down, you guys, from 64.62% down to 63.12%. And it looks like, unless something major happens, we are going to close down on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is what we're looking for, which is what I was looking for. This indicates that this might be a turnaround in general for altcoins, and this is one of the main reasons why I am bullish on altcoins despite Bitcoin's recent moves. That's why I'm still bullish on Link, Ethereum, Uniswap, Celsius. Still bullish on Celsius. I honestly thought this would taper off, but it looks like it's doing the complete opposite. Cardano is another that I'm fairly bullish on. Monero is another one I'm bullish on. I'm bullish on a lot of alts because of Bitcoin's recent price moves and what we can expect from Bitcoin. And even if it trends downwards in a slow manner, altcoins can still rally, as shown with the Bitcoin dominance chart. Anyway, that's all I have for today, you guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.